Think you know American food? Spoiler, it's not all burgers and fries. Some of it jiggles, some of it weighs 100 pounds, and some of it is eaten straight out of a chip bag. Let's get weird. 1. Ever heard of the Juicy Lucy? It's a burger with cheese stuffed inside the patty instead of on top, and it's a Minneapolis specialty. There's even a rivalry between two local restaurants, Matt's Bar and the 5-8 Club, over who invented it. This isn't just about food. It's a culinary Cold War that's been going on for decades. Each side swears theirs is the original, the best, the one that won't leak molten cheese onto your shirt. Spoiler, they both do. People have literally drawn battle lines over this thing. And honestly, if your biggest local feud is over a cheeseburger, you're probably living in a pretty decent place. 2. And here's a fun twist. During World War II, American soldiers were given Hershey's chocolate bars as part of their rations. But these weren't your average chocolate bars. They were intentionally made to taste just barely better than misery. Hershey engineered them to be heat-resistant and nearly impossible to enjoy, because the army didn't want soldiers gobbling them up like candy. The result? A chalky, bitter block that could technically be called food if you squinted. One GI described it as tasting like a mix between sand and regret. Nothing says "we support you" like punishment in a wrapper. 3. Key lime pie is a beloved dessert that comes from the Florida Keys, and it's not just about the flavor, it's about identity. Made with tiny tart key limes, sweetened condensed milk, and a graham cracker crust, it's Florida in pie form. But the real drama? Some Floridians will fight you if you add green food coloring. Traditional key lime pie is pale yellow, and coloring it green is considered a culinary crime in the Keys. Think of it as the difference between a tan and a spray tan, only one of them is real, and people have opinions. 4. Lobster rolls are a New England summer staple, and in Maine, they're practically a religion. These beauties are served cold, packed with lobster meat, tossed in mayo or sometimes butter, and laid gently into a split-top toasted bun. But here's where the cult-like devotion kicks in. Ask for lettuce, and you might get excommunicated. The purists want lobster only. No filler, no frills, just claw meat glory. It's one of the rare foods that manages to be both luxurious and casual at the same time. Fancy seafood in a hot dog bun. Welcome to America. 5. Pecan pie isn't just a dessert in the South. It's a love language. Made with a rich, gooey filling of corn syrup, sugar, and pecans, it's the culinary equivalent of a warm hug, if that hug came with 500 calories per slice. Alabama even made the pecan its official state nut, which is kind of adorable considering how unhealthy this pie is. But hey, if Southern hospitality had a flavor, it'd be buttery, nutty, and just a little over the top, kind of like the pie itself. Pro tip: don't ask about calories at Thanksgiving. That's considered rude and un-American. 6. Americans consume more ice cream than any other country in the world, an average of 20+ pounds per person every year. That's roughly the size of a toddler, but in frozen dessert form. Vanilla is still the reigning champion, probably because it plays well with everything from brownies to existential dread. But don't be fooled. Behind that innocent scoop lies a billion-dollar industry built on nostalgia, dairy, and questionable lactose tolerance. And if you're wondering why people still choose chocolate, mint chip, or even pickle-flavored ice cream, simple. Freedom of choice. God bless brain freeze. 7. Salisbury steak sounds fancy, but it's basically hamburger smothered in gravy trying to cosplay as filet mignon. Named after Dr. James Salisbury, who promoted it in the 19th century as a health food, yes really, it became a staple of wartime meals and later, the TV dinner era. It's comfort food for the microwave generation, complete with mashed potatoes and peas that never look quite right. You haven't truly lived until you've eaten one of these out of a plastic tray while contemplating your life choices. Just think of it as beef's affordable, slightly soggy cousin. 8. The US is the birthplace of soft-serve ice cream, invented in the 1930s with one genius idea: add air to make it creamier and cheaper. Dairy Queen took that concept and ran with it, turning summer afternoons into sticky, swirly chaos ever since. But don't let the innocent twirl fool you. Soft serve is science. That perfect curl on top? That's years of engineering and just the right nozzle shape. Also, did you know it melts 3x faster than regular ice cream? So if you're slow, expect to wear half your cone like a dairy-based fashion statement. 9. New York-style cheesecake isn't just dessert. It's a creamy, rich brick of joy that dares your arteries to say something. What makes it special? Cream cheese, and lots of it. Invented in the 1870s, American cream cheese gave this cake its smooth, dense texture, unlike lighter European versions. But here's the twist. Cheesecake in New York is basically sacred. Everyone's got their spot that does it best, and heaven help you if you say you prefer the no-bake kind. That's like saying you microwave your Thanksgiving turkey. Just no. 10. French fries might not be a US invention, but America definitely claimed custody in the divorce. With more than 30 pounds consumed per person annually, fries have become a cultural staple, political issue, freedom fries anyone, and a fast food MVP. The average American eats fries at least once a week, and yes, that stat includes the ones you sneak from someone else's plate. Whether it's waffle, crinkle cut, curly, or shoestring, there's a fry for every mood. And if you dip yours in a milkshake, don't worry, you're not alone. You're just a little chaotic. 11. In-N-Out Burger's so-called secret menu might be the worst-kept secret in fast food history, but that hasn't stopped it from achieving legendary status. And at the top of the list, animal-style fries. We're talking about a glorious mess of melted American cheese, caramelized onions, and a generous drizzle of their tangy spread, all dumped on top of freshly fried potatoes. It's not just a side dish, it's an edible dare. And while every fast food chain has tried to replicate the mystique of In-N-Out's off-menu magic, none have captured the cult-like devotion. Honestly, if your fries don't come with a fan base, are they even worth it? 12. Bison burgers have charged their way onto American menus, and let's just say, Buffalo Bill would be proud. Once nearly extinct, bison have made a comeback, not just in the wild but on plates across the US. Why the hype? Bison meat is leaner than beef, lower in cholesterol, and has a richer, slightly sweet flavor that doesn't scream health food. It's got that Wild West ruggedness with a modern wellness twist. You can spot bison burgers everywhere from upscale bistros to roadside diners, because nothing says frontier spirit like chewing your way through a taste of American prairie history. 13. Contrary to popular belief, McDonald's did not invent the drive-thru. That honor belongs to Red's giant Hamburg in Springfield, Missouri, back in 1947. Reds basically looked at America's obsession with cars and thought, what if people never had to get out again? Thus, a revolution was born, burgers from the comfort of your car. McDonald's just took the idea and ran with it, all the way to world domination. So next time you're eating fries in your car while yelling at your GPS, send a mental thank you to Red. He walked so Ronald could run, and franchise globally. 14. America loves donuts so much we literally gave them their own day, National Donut Day, every first Friday of June. But the true MVP behind the scenes? A New Yorker named Adolf Levitt, who invented the first automatic donut machine in 1920. Before that, donuts were handmade, uneven, and tragically slow to appear by the dozen. Levitt's machine kicked off the golden age of deep-fried, frosting-covered breakfast excuses. Now, donuts are everywhere, from police cliches to Instagram royalty. And let's be real, no one's ever sat with a jelly-filled pastry in hand. It's sugar-coated therapy, one bite at a time. 15. Believe it or not, the ice cream cone wasn't always a thing. Before 1904, ice cream was served in cups, which meant more dishes, more cleanup, and less fun. Then came the St. Louis World's Fair, where a waffle vendor ran out of plates and had a wild idea: roll one of his waffles into a cone. Boom. History made. The cone revolutionized dessert portability, allowing us to multitask like true Americans, walking, talking, and melting ice cream dripping down our wrists, all at once. Honestly, it's one of the most delicious accidents ever. Thank you, unprepared waffle guy. You changed lives. 16. Poutine might be Canadian by birth, but it's found a second home in the US, especially in the colder corners where people crave comfort and gravy. For the uninitiated, poutine is what happens when fries, cheese curds, and brown gravy have a glorious, greasy three-way. It's a calorie bomb with absolutely zero shame. You'll find it in diners, food trucks, and even hipster gastropubs where it's rebranded as elevated fry stacks. But no matter how fancy it gets, real poutine remains unapologetically messy, oddly soothing, and perfect for cold nights or bad decisions. 17. Apple pie might have been born in Europe, but it was raised on American soil, fed a steady diet of patriotism and butter. It actually originated in England, but Americans embraced it so hard that we turned it into a national icon. It's the culinary equivalent of bald eagles in baseball, comforting, nostalgic, and best served warm with ice cream. So when someone says as American as apple pie, what they really mean is as deliciously stolen, improved, and mass-consumed as any good American tradition. Thank you, colonial importers. You brought over apples and accidentally gave us a national identity. 18. In Texas, food challenges aren't just entertainment, they're sport. The Big Texan Steak Ranch in Amarillo is legendary for its 72-ounce steak challenge. Eat the whole meal: steak, shrimp cocktail, baked potato, salad, and roll within an hour, and it's free. Fail, and your wallet gets lighter. Thousands have tried, only a fraction have conquered. It's not just a dinner. It's a gladiator match between you and a small cow. The Wall of Fame and Shame is a shrine to human ambition and gastrointestinal bravery. It's the only place where indigestion is considered a badge of honor. 19. Jell-O salad is the Frankenstein's monster of American cuisine, bright, jiggly, and occasionally horrifying. Born in the mid-20th century when food science met suburban boredom, these salads often combined fruit, marshmallows, vegetables, and even meat suspended in gelatin like culinary time capsules. Popular in the 1950s and 60s, they were the peak of potluck prestige. But honestly, who looked at beef and lime Jell-O and thought, yes, perfect? These days, Jell-O salad is more retro curiosity than staple, but it still shows up at some family reunions because nothing says heritage like confused gelatin. 20. Cincinnati chili is one of those regional dishes that baffles outsiders but is fiercely beloved by locals. Unlike Texas-style chili, this version is thinner, spiced with cinnamon, cloves, and sometimes chocolate, yes, really, and served over spaghetti. It's typically topped three-way, chili, cheese, and pasta, or five-way with onions and beans. It's not so much chili as it is a spiced meat sauce with a complex identity crisis. Still, the folks in Ohio swear by it. And if you're not eating it with a fork and some confusion, are you even doing it right? 21. In the American Southwest, green chili sauce isn't just a condiment, it's practically a religion, especially in New Mexico, where Hatch chilies reign supreme. These peppers, named after the Hatch Valley, are smoky, earthy, and come with just the right kick to make your food cry for mercy. Locals pour this green gold over everything: eggs, enchiladas, burgers, burritos, you name it. It's not uncommon to hear the life-altering question at restaurants: red or green? If you're indecisive, just say Christmas and get both. It's not just food, it's a lifestyle, one spoonful of fire at a time. 22. Tex-Mex isn't Mexican food. It's what happens when tacos cross the border and decide to become extra. Originating in Texas, Tex-Mex cuisine took traditional Mexican elements and supersized them with American flair. Burritos? Tex-Mex. Chimichangas? Pure Tex-Mex invention, aka deep-fried burrito madness. Nachos loaded with cheese, sour cream, and a crisis of identity? You guessed it. It's cheesy, indulgent, unapologetically American, and not remotely authentic to Mexico. And that's the point. It's fusion before fusion was cool, and it tastes like a delicious cultural misunderstanding with extra guac. 23. Root beer floats have been quenching summer thirst and childhood nostalgia since the late 1800s. The combo is simple but genius. Cold, frothy root beer meets a scoop of creamy vanilla ice cream, resulting in fizzy, sweet perfection. It's the kind of dessert you don't eat, you experience. There's something magical about watching the foam rise like a sugary volcano, daring you to slurp it before it overflows. It's soda, it's ice cream, it's dessert, and a drink having a party in your glass. And yes, it's still just as fun to spill one today as it was in 1893. 24. The Philly cheesesteak, greasy, gooey, glorious, is a sandwich with a side of mystery. Legend has it that in 1930s Philadelphia, a hot dog vendor ran out of hot dogs and improvised with thin-sliced beef on a roll. Add onions, melted cheese, usually Cheese Whiz or provolone, and bam, culinary destiny. But ask 10 Philadelphians how to make a real cheesesteak, and you'll get 10 arguments and possibly a fistfight. It's less of a recipe and more of a birthright. And yes, ordering one wit or wit-out onions is a local language. Learn it before you get side-eyed. 25. Waldorf salad is the original ladies' who lunch dish, first served in 1893 at New York's ritzy Waldorf Astoria Hotel. It's a combo of chopped apples, celery, and walnuts, all swimming in mayonnaise, because that's how we did salads back in the day. Creamy and suspiciously sweet. Over the years, it's evolved into everything from Thanksgiving staple to retro dinner party throwback. Some people add grapes or swap mayo for yogurt. But at its core, it's still a fruit salad in disguise trying very hard to be fancy. Honestly, it's the edible equivalent of a monocle. 26. In Chicago, putting ketchup on a hot dog is basically a felony. A proper Chicago-style dog is an art form. A steamed poppy seed bun holding a beef frank topped with yellow mustard, neon green relish, chopped onions, tomato wedges, a pickle spear, sport peppers, and a dash of celery salt. That's right, it's a salad pretending to be a hot dog. Locals are passionate, no, militant about this. Ask for ketchup and prepare to be judged so hard your ancestors feel it. But hey, it's delicious, even if it requires a roadmap to eat without losing half the toppings. 27. In the Midwest, particularly Wisconsin, fried cheese curds are less of a snack and more of a lifestyle. These squeaky little bites of fresh cheese are breaded, deep-fried, and served hot enough to burn your mouth and your regrets. They're gooey on the inside, crispy on the outside, and addictive enough to ruin any diet in 5 minutes flat. Don't be surprised if they show up on every menu from dive bars to upscale pubs. They're that beloved. And yes, real cheese curds squeak when you bite them. If they don't squeak, you've been played. 28. Mac and cheese might seem like simple comfort food, but it has presidential roots. Thomas Jefferson himself helped popularize it in the US after trying a version in Europe. He even served it at a state dinner, proving that sometimes the founding fathers were more about food than freedom. These days, it's a staple in every American household, from boxed Blue Label classics to 5-cheese gourmet bakes topped with breadcrumbs. It's the food equivalent of a weighted blanket, warm, reliable, and there when you need it. Jefferson wanted to form a more perfect union, and mac and cheese delivered. 29. Americans are serious about their snacks, especially when it comes to potato chips. On average, each person eats around 6 pounds a year. That's like a party-sized bag every month. And let's be honest, sometimes in one sitting. Whether you're into kettle-cooked, wavy, classic, or that questionable dill pickle flavor, chips are the unsung heroes of lunchboxes and late-night cravings. They've also sparked heated debates. Ridges or flat? Lays or Ruffles? Can you really stop at one? The answer is no, you can't. That's not how chips work. 30. The hamburger may trace its roots to Hamburg, Germany, but it was in the US that it evolved into a national obsession. Americans took a simple minced beef patty and did what we do best. Supersized it, melted cheese on it, stacked it with bacon, onion rings, fried eggs, and dreams. Today, it's a symbol of backyard BBQs, late-night cravings, and presidential photo ops. Whether you're grabbing one from a fast food drive-thru or a gourmet gastropub, the hamburger is the edible embodiment of American excess, and we wouldn't have it any other way. 31. While the idea of drive-thru dining sounds like something dreamed up in a postmodern fever dream, it actually became reality in sunny California, land of car culture and impatience. In-N-Out Burger was among the pioneers in the late 1940s, serving burgers straight to people's windows without them needing to lift more than a steering wheel. It was revolutionary. No dressing up, No social interaction, just meat and convenience on demand. Today, it's a way of life. Because in America, why take 10 steps when you can roll up, yell at a speaker box, and get fed without ever leaving your playlist? 32. Chicken fried steak is one of those southern inventions that confuses people until they taste it. Then it's pure love. Despite the name, there's no chicken involved. It's actually tenderized beef steak, battered and deep-fried like fried chicken, then drowned in thick, peppery white gravy. The result? A crunchy, savory masterpiece that sticks to your ribs and your arteries. It's diner royalty in the South and proof that naming conventions are for people who don't use gravy as a food group. Call it what you want. It's comfort food with an identity crisis, and we're here for it. 33. In 1999, the US went big on breakfast when chefs in Rochester, New York cooked up the largest pancake in American history, over 600 pounds of pure, fluffy glory. That's more pancake than you'll eat in a lifetime. Probably. It required industrial-sized equipment, a whole team of chefs, and a small army of volunteers to flip it. Because flipping a pancake with a spatula is cute until your pancake's the size of a minivan. Whether you like your flapjacks with syrup, fruit, or just an overwhelming sense of pride, this one fed a crowd, and probably clogged a few arteries in the process. 34. S'mores are the campfire equivalent of a love triangle. Graham cracker, marshmallow, chocolate, all coming together in a glorious, sticky mess. First published in a 1927 Girl Scouts handbook under the name Some More, the snack became an instant classic. Toast the marshmallow until it's golden, or completely charred if you're chaotic, sandwich it with chocolate, and try to eat it before it melts down your hand. Today, s'mores are synonymous with camping, nostalgia, and sugar highs. It's basically childhood in edible form, and arguably the only reason anyone tolerates mosquitoes and sleeping in tents. 35. The Cobb salad was never supposed to be iconic. It was just a late-night fridge raid. Robert Cobb, owner of Hollywood's Brown Derby restaurant, reportedly whipped it up from kitchen scraps in the 1930s. Chopped lettuce, chicken, bacon, egg, avocado, tomato, blue cheese. Boom, culinary fame. Stars loved it, and suddenly, leftovers became legend. It's the salad equivalent of accidentally going viral. These days, it's on menus everywhere, proudly pretending to be healthy while smuggling in half a pound of bacon and cheese. But hey, if Hollywood says it's a salad, who are we to argue? 36. Bagels made their way to America with Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe, but it was in New York that they reached peak perfection. The crusty outside, the chewy inside. It's a texture experience that only a New York bagel seems to nail. Some say it's the water, others say it's the attitude, which, let's be honest, is just as hard as the crust. And if you've never had one with cream cheese and lox while standing on a Manhattan street corner dodging pigeons and cab horns, are you even doing breakfast right? 37. Jambalaya is what happens when French, Spanish, and Southern soul food all crash the same party and bring rice. This Louisiana staple mixes chicken, sausage, shrimp, and a smorgasbord of spices into one pot of smoky, spicy, savory magic. Whether it's the Cajun or Creole version, it's the kind of dish that warms you up, fills you up, and probably leaves you sweating just a little. Jambalaya isn't just a meal. It's a celebration in a bowl. And like all good parties, it gets better the longer it simmers. 38. Pastrami on rye is the New York deli's mic drop. It's a no-nonsense sandwich. Thick-cut, peppery pastrami piled high between slices of rye bread, usually smeared with spicy brown mustard. No lettuce, no tomato, no avocado. This sandwich doesn't do small talk. It's meat, bread, and attitude. Walk into Katz's or any iconic NYC deli and order one, and you'll instantly feel like a local, right before realizing you need 2 hands and a napkin strategy to finish it. It's a sandwich so satisfying it should have its own Broadway show. 39. America doesn't just love bacon, we celebrate it with a national holiday. December 30th is officially National Bacon Day, because apparently we needed another excuse to wrap things in pork. From bacon-wrapped jalapenos to bacon and chocolate bars to entire festivals dedicated to it, this crispy, salty strip of joy has transcended breakfast. It's a flavor, a lifestyle, a scented candle. Bacon lovers don't just eat bacon, they identify as bacon people, and honestly, respect. There are worse things to build your personality around. 40. Hush puppies, those deep-fried balls of cornmeal goodness, are Southern comfort food at its most charming. Usually served alongside fried fish or barbecue, they're golden, crunchy on the outside, and tender inside. The origin? Legend says they were tossed to barking dogs during cookouts to quiet them, hence, hush puppies. Whether the story's true or just Southern folklore wrapped in cornmeal, we'll never know. But one thing's for sure, they're delicious enough to silence just about anyone, including your inner dietitian. 41. The humble frozen dinner made its grand debut in 1954, courtesy of Swanson, and America never looked back. It all started with an overstock of Thanksgiving turkey and a stroke of corporate genius. Slice it up, add some peas and mashed potatoes, and package it like an airplane meal. Boom, dinner was served. Dubbed the TV dinner, it quickly became a staple for busy families and TV addicts alike. No prep, no cleanup, just aluminum-wrapped convenience. Today, the frozen food aisle is a galaxy of microwavable possibilities, from gourmet lasagna to mystery meatloaf that's somehow still better than your uncle's cooking. 42. When it comes to state cuisines, Louisiana didn't just choose a food, they chose a full-on flavor experience. Gumbo is the official dish, and if you've ever had a bowl, you understand why. A thick, hearty stew bursting with sausage, shrimp, chicken, and okra, seasoned with Cajun or Creole spices, gumbo is comfort food with attitude. It's the kind of meal that makes your nose run and your soul sing. No two gumbo recipes are the same, because down in Louisiana, cooking isn't just about taste, it's about storytelling. And gumbo tells one hell of a spicy, smoky, shrimp-filled story. 43. In Alaska, where winters are brutal and daylight is negotiable, cabbages grow like they're trying to win a strongman competition. At the Alaska State Fair, the giant cabbage weigh-off is a beloved tradition. And yes, the winners often top 100 pounds. That's a vegetable bigger than most dogs. Why so massive? Alaska's long summer daylight hours supercharge the growth. And while no one's tossing these giants into a salad bowl anytime soon, they're a quirky, leafy symbol of northern agricultural might. One head of cabbage, or 400 egg rolls probably, just saying. 44. Buffalo sauce didn't get its name from bison. It came from Buffalo, New York, where the glorious union of melted butter and hot sauce was first slathered on chicken wings in the 1960s. Legend credits the Anchor Bar, where a creative cook tossed leftover wings in this fiery blend, and history was made. Now? It's practically illegal to watch a football game without buffalo wings nearby. The combo of spicy, tangy, and buttery is simple yet genius. And it's inspired everything from pizza to popcorn seasoning. One accidental late-night snack, and boom, America got a new food group. 45. In America, casseroles are more than food. They're emotional support in a baking dish. These one-pan wonders show up at holidays, potlucks, funerals, and any event where comfort is key. Whether it's green bean casserole with those questionable fried onions, or cheesy potato bake with enough butter to knock out a moose, casseroles are the edible equivalent of your aunt wrapping you in a blanket. They require minimal effort, maximum cheese, and just a sprinkle of nostalgia. Basically, it's the only time throwing stuff in a dish and baking it gets you a standing ovation. 46. Nebraska didn't earn the nickname the Cornhusker State for nothing. It's also the popcorn capital of the country. If you've ever munched buttery popcorn during a movie, there's a good chance it came from a Nebraskan field. The state produces more popcorn than anywhere else in the US, which is both delicious and deeply impressive. And considering how many Americans consume it by the bucketful, literally, Nebraska might be the unsung hero of movie nights and guilty snacking. Honestly, if there were a popcorn-shaped monument there, it'd be completely justified. 47. Frito pie is proof that sometimes the best meals come from culinary laziness. Popular in the Southwest, it involves ripping open a bag of Fritos, dumping in chili, shredded cheese, onions, and maybe some jalapenos, then devouring it with a spoon like a hungry raccoon. It's salty, spicy, crunchy chaos in a bag, and it works. Some call it trashy, others call it genius. Either way, it's delicious. And bonus, no dishes to wash, just a crumpled chip bag full of dreams. Who needs a plate when you have snack packaging and low standards? 48. S'mores are already messy, sticky fun, but in 2014, someone decided to take it to absurd new heights and widths. Enter the world's largest s'more, weighing a whopping 267 pounds. That's more marshmallow than most people consume in a lifetime, or one camping trip with sugar-crazed kids. It took a crew of volunteers, industrial-sized ingredients, and probably a small crane to assemble. Was it excessive? Absolutely. Was it beautiful? Also yes. If you've ever dreamed of sleeping inside a graham cracker, this was your moment. 49. Jell-O salad may sound like an oxymoron, but in the Midwest it's still alive and wiggling. Born in the mid-1900s and never quite dying out, this colorful concoction mixes gelatin with fruit, marshmallows, whipped topping, and occasionally, because why not, shredded carrots. It shows up at church potlucks, family reunions, and awkward Thanksgivings. It's sweet, jiggly, and unapologetically weird. Some love it, some fear it. But one thing's for sure, no other dish screams 1950s culinary optimism, quite like a lime Jell-O mold filled with pineapple and existential confusion. So, after 101 facts, one thing's clear. American cuisine is less refined art and more delicious chaos. It's a place where dessert wiggles, meat hides under aliases, and someone thought frying a candy bar was a reasonable idea. But hey, that's the charm. Now tell me this. What's the weirdest thing you ever ate and actually liked? And no, salad doesn't count. Drop it in the comments, hit that subscribe button if you've ever used a chip bag as a bowl, and stick around, because we're just getting started.